Even though it's cold here in the capital region, you know where it's not cold? That's Miami. Miami, party in the city where the heat is on, in the words of Will Smith. Now, there's been a lot of rumors spilling out that since Tom Brady has retired and then since retired, that he is trying to maneuver a trade to the Miami Dolphins after seeing them go out get Tyreek Hill, couple of running backs, couple of offensive linemen. You know, Miami is built for a team that's looking to win now and win in the future as well. Now, they do have Tua Tagovailoa that hasn't gotten necessarily the true shot that I believe that he should be. You know, a lot of memes out there on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter making fun of Tua and his quote-unquote arm strength, not realizing that he has had one of the worst offensive lines in the last 3 years. In fact, 2 out of the last 3 years, that offensive line has ranked dead last in win percentage when it comes to blocking their opponents. Their win rate for blocking opponents in the pass blocking game has been dead last 2 out of the last 3 years. So there is no opportunities to throw deep. And when there is, Tua has been one of the most accurate quarterbacks downfield. In fact, last year, he was second behind Kyler Murray, completing at a 59.2% downfield. But this isn't about Tua Tagovailoa. This is about Tom Brady and the Miami Dolphins. And as much as Tom Brady would love a revenge tour against Bill Belichick, having to go against Bill Belichick twice this year, and if he comes back, potentially twice next year. But I'm going to tell you, as much as a competitor as Tom Brady is, he's not stupid. Tom Brady is not stupid. He made a fully informed decision to join the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 2 years ago. And he's going to make a fully informed decision to stay with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I'm shutting down the rumors to Miami right now. Because as competitive as he is, he's not stupid. And as much as a connection there is to Miami, we've heard the rumors that Giselle likes Miami more than Tampa Bay because it's flashy and she's a model and blah, blah, blah. We've heard Colin Cowherd talk about it right here on Fox Sports on 95.9 FM. You know, we've heard people talk about how they're building over there in Miami, and they have Stephen Ross, who is a alumni of Michigan, and obviously Tom Brady went to Michigan. So Tom Brady to Dolphins confirmed. We've heard the story 2 years ago, you know, which further indulges into what Brian Flores has said, where they tried to do some player tampering, and Brian Flores wasn't for it because the Dolphins were reportedly linked to Tom Brady 2 years ago before ultimately signing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But once again, I'm going to tell you this straight up. Tom Brady may be competitive, but he is not stupid. And this is exactly what I mean. Take a look at the AFC as a whole, and then take a look at the NFC as a whole. Who has the more threatening teams? Tom Brady, at this stage in his career, he has nothing left to prove. The only thing that keeps him going is Super Bowls. And I don't know about you, but if I could take the easier route while working my tail off, I'm going to take the easier route. And that's not to shy away from competition. But why involve yourself in the competition if you don't have to? Look at the NFC right now. You have the Dallas Cowboys, choke artists. The Philadelphia Eagles, do you trust Jalen Hurts? The Washington Commanders, that's even a bigger question than the Jalen Hurts question. Do you trust Carson Wentz? Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers, they just lost Devontae Adams and Scalding, their 2 top wide receivers. Not to mention, do we need to talk about all the choking performances that Aaron Rodgers has had in the playoffs? Minnesota Vikings, do you trust Kirk Cousins? No. Chicago Bears. Yeah, we're not even going to mention Chicago Bears. Detroit Lions. And no one's worried about the Detroit Lions or the Chicago Bears. The New Orleans Saints, they got Jameis Winston back. Are you afraid of Jameis Winston? Absolutely not. Atlanta Falcons, they just traded away Matt Ryan. Calvin Ridley suspended for the year. Russell Gage, their number 2 wide receiver, he signed with the Buccaneers. So are you afraid of the Atlanta Falcons that currently have Marcus Mariota slated to be their starting quarterback? The Carolina Panthers, Sam Darnold, last time that he had to face Tom Brady, he saw a ghost. Not afraid of him either. Los Angeles Rams, they're the defending Super Bowl champs. They have Matt Stafford, an elite quarterback that's finally getting his due. Guess what? It is hard to win a Super Bowl and come back the very next year and be motivated to hit another Super Bowl. Not saying that Matt Stafford and the Rams can't do it and that they don't have that hunger, but it's a different kind of hunger. It's a different kind of strive. It's a different kind of motivation. To win one and then to win a second, that is a different kind of motivation. Arizona Cardinals, I know they just signed that huge extension with the head coach, but what's going on with Kyler Murray? Do you trust this coach or Kyler Murray when it comes to the second half of the season? Because they have now, for 3 straight seasons, have defaulted and faltered in the second half of seasons. San Francisco 49ers, Trey Lance could be an explosion of excitement on the field. But at the end of the day, do you trust the 49ers with Trey Lance in his first year starting? Nah. And then the Seattle Seahawks. Who is their starter right now? Is it Geno Smith? We don't know. And then you take a look at the NFC or the AFC. Josh Allen, Mac Jones, which Mac Jones isn't going to scare you. But a New England Patriots-led team by Bill Belichick and a defensive-minded team by Bill Belichick, that's going to scare you. The Jets, we're not worried about the Jets. The Bengals, they just reached the Super Bowl. And guess what? They addressed their weakness in the offseason. Their offensive line was terrible. Guess what? They added to the offensive line. The Pittsburgh Steelers, Mitchell Trubisky. Now, are you worried about Mitchell Trubisky? Not really. But are you worried about that defense? Absolutely. Cleveland Browns. Now, this depends on whether there's a suspension going or not, but Cleveland Browns, they got Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson, when playing, when healthy, when playing, when present, he is one of the most elite quarterbacks in the league. Baltimore Ravens. Yeah, I know they finished 8-9 last season, but that's because they missed Lamar Jackson. And as great as a story as Huntley was, and we all love that story, how many one-possession games did the Ravens lose because they didn't have that electric explosiveness? I don't think we realized how much injuries hampered the Baltimore Ravens. And as deep as a team as that is, as deep as a roster that they continue to build, the Ravens were haunted by injuries. Tennessee Titans. Not Ryan Tannehill you're worried about. You're worried about Derrick Henry. You're worried about that defense. The Colts, they just got Matt Ryan. Now, does that mean they're going to be a playoff contender? No. But they're a solid built team. The Houston Texans we're not worried about. Jacksonville Jaguars we're not worried about. The Chiefs, as long as they have Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, no Tyreek Hill, doesn't matter. As long as they have Patrick Mahomes, they are still a contender. The Las Vegas Raiders, they just went out and nabbed Devontae Adams. They now have a legit number 1 receiver. Oh, yeah. And guess what? He played in college with Fresno State quarterback and alum Derek Carr. The Los Angeles Chargers, they have a weakness on the defensive side of the ball. You know what? We'll just go out and get the best corner on the free agent market, and we'll pair that with one of the best linebackers in the game in Khalil Mack. Denver Broncos, they went ahead and got Russell Wilson. So let me ask you, does Tom Brady want to go to a conference where he's got to face Josh Allen potentially Joe Burrow, Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes, Derek Carr, Russell Wilson, Justin Herbert, where he's got to face those teams. The Broncos have a very good defense. The Raiders have had a solid defense. The Chargers, they should have a lot better of a defense. The Browns have a good defense. The Steelers have a good defense. The Bengals have a good defense. The Bills have a good... There's so many good defensives on the AFC side that if you win 10 games, you still might not make the postseason. And I know Tom Brady loves Stephen Ross, the alum from Michigan. I know Tom Brady loves the Kyle Shanahan West Coast version of his offense, in that they have Mike McDaniels for the Miami Dolphins now. I know that he loves having a deep threat like Tyreek Hill that can open up the field, and they got a very good pass-catching tight end. I know that he loves all that. And I know Giselle may love the glitz and glamour of Miami. But if this is about Super Bowls, there is no better place to be than the NFC. And that reason alone is why Tom Brady, you can slate it right now, you can hammer it, you can book it, you can bet it, is staying in Tampa Bay. Not to mention, we know Tom Brady the person, as competitive as can be. He, in his mind, everything is strategic. I truly believe he retired to get leverage with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And that leverage has led to Shaq Mason, has led to Russell Gage, has led to Logan Ryan. They are restacking. And restacking their chips for a championship run. Tom Brady actively recruiting playoff Lenny, Logan Ryan, getting Shaq Mason involved, getting Russell Gage to come on over. This is all done because Tom Brady has recruited these guys and asked for these guys and has been a vocal voice in the front office. Why would he do all that to leave? He's not going to. So as much as you may love the rumor mill, especially in the offseason, because guess what? NFL is king. Tom Brady may be a competitor, but he is not stupid, and his best chance, his best path to a Super Bowl is in the NFC.